she can get him. And all you bitches in the comments gonna be like, you could too. Be realistic for a second. Be for real.
Hey, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my lukewarm take on beauty. There's this phenomenon on platforms like TikTok where if someone makes a point but comes across as thinking they're better than others, sometimes just by not being explicitly self-deprecating, people will dunk on their looks to humble them. A few months ago, there was controversy around this topic, and I'm talking about it now because I spend more time on Instagram Reels and thus live 4 months in the past. Basically, a TikTok star got a lot of hate for her opinion here.
I don't think everyone's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think we need to stop lying. Like, some people are ugly and that's fine. Like, not everybody's meant to be, like, attractive. Like, some people aren't aesthetically pleasing to look at. I'm tired of, like, everyone's beautiful. Like, I think everybody's beautiful on the inside or has the potential to be beautiful on the inside. But I feel like not everyone's beautiful on the outside. And I'll die on this hill.
She received a lot of comments along these lines. Some even said that ever since she lost weight, she forgot her place. And this is so crazy to me because you're gonna hate on someone for expressing that not everyone is beautiful by calling her ugly. You're literally proving her point. People probably wouldn't have gotten as mad if Fanita had followed up with, but you don't have to be beautiful to matter. Or honestly, if she had added something like, I'm not beautiful. It seems messed up that in order to give an opinion on physical beauty standards, you have to preface it with self-deprecation or at least weigh in on your own appearance. But I want people to listen to me, so I guess let's get it out of the way. I am not beautiful. I am also not ugly. Makeup can do me some favors, but I am around average. Most of us are average, and that's okay. People always bring up that beauty is in the eye of the beholder and say everyone's beautiful on the inside, even when you're clearly talking about outward physical beauty. Beauty being in the eye of the beholder, yeah, even physical beauty is on some level subjective. But subjectivity does not mean randomness. If beauty is only in the eye of the beholder, it seems like ratings of attractiveness should be pretty inconsistent. And that's not true. Some researchers found that raters of facial beauty generally agree about who is and who is not attractive, both within and across cultures. This calls into question the idea that beauty standards are just culturally unique and media influenced. It's also interesting because the paper references that even young infants tend to prefer the same faces as adults do. That's just one study on facial beauty, but other studies have highlighted universal traits that are attractive across the world, like symmetry, facial feature proportions, and a waist-to-hip ratio within a certain range. There might be a universal standard of attractiveness, but it could be more general than popularly understood, with leeway for many people who look extremely different from each other, yet all still fit that standard. People definitely have wildly different preferences. You might be really into Timothee Chalamet while your friend's type is Doc Hudson from Cars. I think, though, maybe we should, first limit the discussion to real-life humans, but maybe we should distinguish beauty and attractiveness. I'm not even sure if those are the right words. Beauty and attractiveness are used interchangeably, but to me, beauty is something that you can observe or see more objectively, and attractiveness is something you feel. So Ryan Gosling, for example, is someone I think is pretty objectively handsome, and I totally understand why other people find him attractive, but I don't feel as strongly. I also think types get into a lot of other non-physical traits like personality, which I do think influence attractiveness, but let's not pretend we never make conscious or unconscious snap judgments based on people's beauty. You don't get to know everyone. Physical beauty can be and often is divorced from your other traits as you navigate society. Beauty standards often change. Women's bodies, in particular, seem to go in and out of fashion in the media, from 90s heroin chic to the rise of the BBL. Anecdotally, I know that some features like big lips were made fun of on some POC years ago, and now we see everyone and their mother looking like Lola from Shark Tales. I'm really on a 2000s movie references kick. The universal standard of beauty, to me, is more general and not feature-specific. Specific features can be conventionally beautiful, but not look good on everyone, because beauty is also about facial harmony. Highly sought-after facial features, like, the nose everyone's been getting, do not look good in a vacuum. Many beautiful people have features that aren't deemed conventionally attractive, but the features work with the rest of their face to create a unique look. Or if the feature looks off, the beautiful person has a lot going for them in other areas. I don't think there's a strict universal ideal body that will stay constant over time. There was a time some 100 years ago that thinness of body came to connote poverty and the weakness of disease and old age. It also suggested spiritual poverty and moral insufficiency. But it's important to note that this body standard is not strictly about physical beauty. It also ties into wealth and power and status, which will always be attractive traits. Anyway, per this example, the commonly cited ideal waist-to-hip ratio might be actually more of a range, as researchers found when examining depictions of feminine beauty in Western art. The average shifted over time, though it never exited the fertile range. I don't think body types, unless they're fully created through surgery, go out of fashion. I like to think of it more as, over the years, new body types have become more accepted. Like, even when BBLs were all the rage, was a thin body with whatever the ideal waist-to-hip ratio is actually considered ugly? Like, outside of the media and the internet and in real life? The takeaway here is don't make your body follow a trend. At this point, you might be wondering, what is the harm of going around assuring everyone that they are physically beautiful? The first is it assigns way too much importance to appearance. Being plain or ugly is not a moral failing. Sometimes it's like, the way people talk, it's like you're only worth something if you're beautiful and people rush to assure you that you still matter. It seems way healthier to think of beauty as a trait that some people have, one that doesn't define who you are. Because beauty changes, too. You can adjust it with makeup and grooming and posture, but then you might feel dependent on these practices and like you're not beautiful without them. You might feel your beauty fade with age, or something unexpected might happen to your body. If you make beauty core to your identity, you will suffer when it goes away. Saying everyone's beautiful is also dismissive of lived experiences. Just because you tell people they're beautiful doesn't mean they're treated as such in reality. In this imperfect world, there is an attractiveness advantage.
Do you give lessons?
Pretty privilege, if you will. Attractiveness is strongly related to popularity and occupational success. It literally pays to be good looking. Attractiveness is moderately related to intelligence and performance and adjustment in children and to dating and sexual experience in adults. In what's called the halo effect, we see beautiful people as more moral, trustworthy, kinder, and more capable, depending on your field. Saying everyone's beautiful also just feels disingenuous, especially in internet culture. Like, we have eyes. There's so much fake positivity online where people might effusively tell you that you're just as beautiful as supermodel actress from Squid Game because everyone is beautiful in their own way. And then go call people ugly as an insult when they disagree with or don't like them as people. I'm not saying the word beautiful can only be reserved for people in the upper echelon of beauty, but what would be the point if everyone is beautiful? The word loses its value if people are just beautiful versus more beautiful. The meaning is still understood. There are some benefits though. It doesn't help to pretend beauty standards don't exist, but good things can come from promoting the idea that beauty is accessible to a more diverse range of people than before. Even though I think certain people were always attractive by a universal beauty standard, they may have been made to feel like they weren't because of more closed-minded, homogenous environments. Telling people everyone's beautiful can also increase people's confidence. If you have a belief that is useful to you and doesn't harm other people, maybe it doesn't make a difference how true it is. There's a study that finds women strongly agree that when they feel less beautiful, they feel worse about themselves in general. I would still say it's dangerous to tie beauty to your self-esteem and happiness like that, which I do. I'm no better. But I guess you gotta take what you can get. Also, not sure if I need to include this, but I am not saying that if someone says they're beautiful and you disagree that you have to go and say, well, actually, please don't do that. Just mind your own business. I understand that this idea that everyone is beautiful rose in response to unrealistic beauty standards in the media that make people feel unworthy in comparison. It makes sense that people wanted to reshape what makes someone beautiful and worthy to feel good about themselves again. But I think we could approach things differently. Body neutrality, which was popularized by Anne Poirier, author of The Body Joyful, is about understanding ourselves as humans first and form our concept of worth, value, and identity around our internal instead of external selves. Instead of trying to unconditionally love your appearance when you're seeing so many signals around you that want you to think the opposite, you can try not to think of your appearance at all, or just a lot less. Obviously, this movement is more focused on the body's appearance versus the facial attractiveness I harped on for so long earlier, but I think the lesson carries over. Decenter your appearance as best you can and focus on what your physical body can do, like carry you places and help you connect with your loved ones. Just because I'm saying all this doesn't mean I have a good relationship with my own appearance. Like, if I really followed body/face neutrality, I don't think I would wear makeup. Not that I think that makeup is evil, but I don't wear it because of artistic expression like other people do. I wear it because I feel like I'm gonna get treated better if I look better. So you could completely free yourself from the beauty industrial complex, but I think it's understandable to want to look prettier. So there are constraints in the society we live in today. I'm not personally able to really separate makeup and trying to look better from issues of self-esteem. Despite knowing better, I do idealize becoming more beautiful. I see beautiful people online and automatically compare myself to them and feel bad about myself. Sometimes I feel like I would be more successful if I looked better. But ultimately, the solution for me is not to lie to myself. I don't look like a supermodel, but I look fine. It's not true that only beautiful people are successful. I look up to so many people across industries that are brave and innovative and creative. Sure, they might have been even more successful if they were prettier to look at, but their looks are the last thing I think about. And I could extend the same grace to myself. It's so crazy on the internet. Sometimes you just gotta take a break and interact with real people so your sense of reality doesn't skew too far. It's like when incels say you have to be a 6-foot Chad to get a woman when you could literally just walk outside and see that that's not true. The lesson here, as it always seems to be, is to go touch grass. All right, thanks for watching, and if you got anything out of this video, please watch another and find me in the comments. Bye!